Hi guys, how we doing? Bearded Brush, part 3 of my Goblin vlog. It's going well guys, we're doing well. Had a few awesome comments from my previous video, which is great. Had a few more subscribers, which is even better. I'm a bit of a roll this year, it's been quite nice actually, so thank you very much for doing that guys, appreciate it, all of you. Those that have stuck with me and those that have just recently joined the Bearded Brush crew. The Bearded Brush Massive. But no, it's nice. I had one of the kind comments of enjoy sort of watching my videos. It's nice for them to sort of chill out too, which is completely and utterly my aim of the game. That's to, because I find these sort of things therapeutic myself. I watch these videos and stuff, and in whatever quality they are, whether they've been really well produced or just like myself, where I'm literally just trying to get the time to actually just put these things on show to show what I've done and talk about it. I enjoy all of it, and I want to have the same effect on other people. So the fact that that is the case with some of my subscribers is really nice to know. So always let me know, and it sort of gives me the idea to know what I'm doing is good, and that I can do more going forwards really. But that being said, this is the progress so far. Not a huge amount this week, but a good progress nonetheless. I've mainly been working on, well, I say this week, I think it's been a couple of weeks now since you last saw the video, but I've been working on this guy. The Marauder. Dudes. Do you know what? Or dudes and dudettes, I should say. But do you know what? This model is absolutely awesome. I'm so pleased with how it turned out. Fine cast, as usual, which is fine. The mould was good, the sculpt was good. Not a huge amount of issues with clean-up. The only faux pas I made was... Where's my finger? There it is. There's a piece of plastic or resin, sticks out the wug, sticks out. Now, I just saw this as a bit of a mould issue, trimmed it off. Obviously, as you can see from what I'm about to point out and say, I didn't realise that bit of resin that sticks out of the tummy sits in a little hole, which actually you can still see. It's just in there. So obviously that's what helps a wug stick into this. Well, I didn't even think of that. I just got all the pieces out, trimmed them all up, cleaned them all up, thought, right, here we go. And it was only as I was undercoating and I thought, hang on a minute, there's a hole in the base. There's no pokey bit for the wug. And I'm like, oh no, I've trimmed it off. So I pinned it, got the old paper clip, drilled a fresh hole in the base, a little hole in the tummy, and away we went. It's not the best hold in the world, but it should do the job. He's come loose a couple of times, but it's because there's a lot of weight and a lot of spinning potential on this guy. But worst comes to worst, the piece of wire I got, the clip that's in there, paper clip that's in there, sorry, it's quite long. So worst comes to worst, he'll just sit on the hole, and if he spins around a bit, he does. Or I could maybe drill another angle, have another bit of wire sticking through somewhere else, but we'll see. But for the moment, he's holding okay. The detail on the goblins, as you can see, is absolutely fantastic. Let me just move the light slightly, actually, so let's try and get the light a bit better. There we go, that's a bit better on it. Very green, which is what I'm going for this batch. Still using that camo green. Is it camo green? Which I've been using. It really is at the dregs now, so the real gloopy dregs of paint, but I'm going to keep persevering with it as long as I can. I'm trying to keep it alive and fed. But they come out really nice. I've done the eyes, so hopefully you can see. Oh, it gets a bit blotchy the closer up you get, doesn't it? Oh. Keep it at a distance. But no, these are great. These are really cool models. They're really great sculpts. I find it hard to invest in really going for it on the detail front with these guys because they are so small and because it's such a horde army. Obviously I've gone to a little bit more effort than this than I would have done, say, with them guys. But because this is such a horde army, I just like that. For example, the Vem braces and things. I have got a very slight edge highlight there, and I've used Rhinox hide to reflect the straps. Strapping the Vem braces on. You can see it there as well, and a bit of flesh I thought would be fun to stick on there as well. So I have put some highlights, but I don't see the point in really doing it, which is weird for me, because if I can put a highlight somewhere, or multiple highlights somewhere, I will. But I'm just not motivated enough with these. I'm motivated to do the army, don't get me wrong. I'm loving painting this army up, it's really fun, but I suppose I'm not used to having the attitude I have. With most models, I want to try and get the best out of them, even if they're just infantry. I still want to try and get lots of highlights, lots of detail, lots of things. But with these guys, I'm just happy as they are. I suppose in a way you could say they don't even need it because the sculpts are so good. But yeah, anyway, either way, having said that, the wug does need a little bit more work done to his face. I'm not quite happy with the skin highlights. But I'm pleased with the warg in general. I wanted him to be a much darker looking warg to, say, my warg captain, commander, whatever you want to call him, chief wolf pack leader, and other sort of hairy creatures I've painted in the past. But I'm also going to go for, because obviously the suggested paint schemes, they've painted a white warg with like brown spots, which I want to do, but I'm going to do that with probably just the wild wargs without the riders. I've got a few sets of them. Not for this army, although I suppose I could mix them in, I don't know, I actually have to look it up. But for my Angmar army, I'm going to be using a lot of wargs, and also I'll be using it on the Charcus Specialist Legendary Legion list as well. I want to have a pure warg rider and wild warg army. That would be awesome. Warg. I'm saying warg 2 times, a bit of a tongue twister. But yeah, no, but so we got the usual standards, Mornfang Brown, we got Rhinox Hide, various shades of slightly wet blended in between here, just to sort of get a nice smooth transition. A Shabty Bone has been added to bring a highlight, as well as a Uriel Yellow, and then I've then gone back to a Shabty Bone again, so that there is a slight, you can't quite pick it up on here, but there's a slight yellow hue to certain areas of him, and I wanted to sort of reflect a weird sort of patchy mottled effect of the creature. The tongue, usual standard, Mephiston Red with Evil Sun Scarlet, all that jazz. There we go. The eye, just a little dot of white. When I looked on images of the wargs, obviously they're just black eyes with that white reflective sort of dot. Well, obviously, a black eye has. That's what I've gone for with them. A Shabty Bone for the teeth. Could do a trim of the teeth on the front there. Look, it's just where they're sculpted. But if you look, you can see where the plastic sort of goes in towards mouth. I'd like that just dead straight, but they're quite fragile, so I'm not sure if I'll have much luck with that. But I might give it a try. I've got a sharp scalpel, it might work. But yeah, no, I'm really happy for these come out. It's really cool. The goblins are just fantastic. They got such character. What I love about this is the fact this guy on the front, actually sort of in charge of the warg, he's giving it his all. He's got his little sword out. He's like, yeah, come on, let's do this. These guys, to me, you've kind of got one who's at the back, so yeah, but we're gonna attack, but his face looks like he's absolutely terrified, and the one in the middle just looks like he's screaming for his dear life and just is not liking this one bit. It looks like you got sort of 3 different personalities in one creature, only one of which is 100% willing. The other 2 look like they've sort of just been plonked there and they're just hoping to survive, which is unlikely with what they're doing, to be honest. But yeah, that's cool, really cool. I really enjoyed it. Got Mechanicus Standard Grey, obviously, Dawnstone. You got some white mixed in there as well. I forget what the colour's called. And you have got a very light a Shabty Bone dry brushed over, just give a little pop. Rhinox Hide, I believe, or Dryad Bark for the axe head. I've got brassy sort of initial colour for the axe, for the metal of the axe itself, with a lead belcher, with a Nuln Oil, with a lead belcher again, and a Shabty Bone just as is with a Nuln Oil wash for the skull. Not a lot of detail there, but it's just not much point. And it's meant to be dirty, it's meant to be grubby, it's not going to be a perfectly highlighted, immaculate looking skull. So the dirty, grainy, sort of washed out look is perfect, in my opinion. I am going to get a few tufts of that mossy, foamy stuff, scenery stuff. I'm going to PVA them just here, there, just to make it look like this has been set for a long time and you've got like a damp sort of moss effect start to come on. Might even dry brush a little bit of green before I put the moss on, just to really give it that look of like a dirty sort of mossy look. But yeah, that's the main progress on the Marauder. I'm going to get another one. I went to order a lot of things actually with my pay, which was the other day. But there wasn't a lot in stock. I had some more of these guys, but I'm holding fire on these guys to buy, because I want to buy them in a bulk set. I wanted just to get the command set and a few other bits, but it's sort of out of stock and things. So I was like, okay, so I'll hold on to my money and go for another time. I've trimmed up the metal Goblin Warriors, so they're all trimmed up and ready to be undercoated now in the standard Aberdeen black. These models are absolutely fantastic. I love the metal goblins. I really, really do. They are fantastic sculpts. Really, really good. Trimmed them all up. They're looking all good now. The super glue was an absolute arse. I don't know what was going on. They just would not stick to their bases. I ended up using a bit of water. It's not the best, but it does the job. Should use a proper applicator, really, in all seriousness. But the glue just would not stick. It's normal Loctite. It's the same stuff I've been using for freaking years. But every now and again, the glue just won't stick instantly. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the is it a temperature thing? Is it like a... I just don't know. But I've used super glue long enough to have a good idea of how what is best and how is best to apply it. But yeah, God knows, these guys come out a bit chalky. But we'll get one to go. He's definitely my favourite models, that one. He's awesome. But yeah, only one spearman. Funny enough, you got you got four bowmen, 3 swordsmen, and 1 spearman. I was that strange. I thought they'd have done, I don't know, maybe 2 spearmen, 3 bowmen, 3 swordsmen or something. But good model, really cool model, and they're going to be easy to paint because they're so armoured up. There's not a lot of cloth there to really go for, but they're cleaned up. And then we've got some of these bad boys. The name that's completely escaped me again. What is it with these guys? Me forgetting the names. But yeah, got these guys all cleaned up. Didn't take much to do at all, actually. A couple of them hardly had anything. They had just like a little bit of flash hanging off the back spike, off there, or look at the top there, and that was it. Some of them, like this one, I've left it on there just because it's such a pain in the bum. But a lot of them, they've got like a slight attachment when they're moulded. So like here, you can see I've snipped that clean, so you got a nice clean break there, so it looks better attached to where it should be. But some of them is a bit more of a pain to clean up. Like here, for example, you still see a slight bit of bulge on the metal on the actual shaft of the wood. But I just can't quite get to it. I've got loads of different files and stuff, but obviously I haven't got anything ultra fine, which is what I need there. Managed to poke a little hole in his arm here as well, because that's all sealed up. So it's all little details, all the little nuances, which makes the finished product so much better, I think. Considering these guys are sort of more of an invented Games Workshop thing, I think they did well keeping the aesthetic of the overall Goblin army sort of tied in. They've got the chainmail. They're not heavily armoured to look at, but they've got they've got the gloves. They've got some chainmail. The weapons look very crude, very similar to the rest of the guys. So I do like how Games Workshop sort of made them fit in with the rest of the army, aesthetically pleasing. This guy's cool. He always reminds me of like a smuggler or something. Such a sneaky evil dude with his mask covering him up. But yeah, really cool. So that's the progress so far, guys. Not a huge amount, but steady. Going to get these guys undercoated, get them all sorted, get them bossed, get them painted up, and then for the time being, till probably, I suppose, next paycheck, the end of the month now, that's when I'll probably buy some more of the same. I'll get some more of these guys. Most likely going to buy, well, I will be buying more of these, but most likely I'll get them from eBay. You can get small sets, bargain sets of, plastic minis. I can't quite justify the price tag. Not knocking it, that's what it is, what it is. But, these have been so long. You can get so many so cheap, and I quite like the idea of redeeming, saving some, rather than spending £27 on a brand new set from Games Workshop, which is brilliant. It's great they've got them. But there's so much more cheaper ways to go about it, and then the money I can save, I can invest in these guys or another one of them. So Games Workshop win, to an extent, either way, from my hard-earned cash. And a bit of a shock on Games Workshop. I don't know if you guys noticed this. I hadn't. I do keep up the Warhammer community reasonably well. I mean, I'm not perfect. I do miss a few days here and there, but I often look at some point on my lunch breaks and stuff. But I don't remember seeing a heads up on the fact that they're going to be discontinuing certain Corsairs of Umbar models, like the Arbalesters, the Lords, Dalmayar, and his like henchmen as such. They've all been discontinued or sold out. The plastic set's still going, but I'm quite surprised by that. I don't remember seeing. I knew new stuff was coming, which meant I knew that some old stuff was going to go, but I don't remember seeing a heads up saying, "Oh, these guys are going to be discontinued." I could well have missed it. Let me know what you guys think. But it's a shame because although I've got enough Corsairs for a reasonable sized army, I was thinking at Christmas time with my bonus of treat myself to a few more Arbalesters and a few more Corsairs and Generals to really bulk out the army. Now that's not an option. I'm going to have to try and go to a third party or an eBay thing, which could get expensive. We'll see. It's not a necessity. Give it a few years. I'm sure they'll come back round again. But it's just a bit of a pain. I'm sure Games Workshop said that when they initially revamped this range years ago, that they would always make sure it was very clear when they were going to take products off of stock. From my point of view, it doesn't seem like that's completely happening. They have a couple of times, but then other times I've gone to buy things and they've gone out of production. I'm like, okay, you didn't say that. Unless it's in the small print, I don't know. I don't always thoroughly read the entire article. I'll skim down the article, But if you've got loads of different things in the article, I might not see it. So to be fair, I could have missed it. But I'll live. I'll get around it. I've got far too much in my box of shame, or box of promise, as I like to call it anyway. And I must do a video, actually, sort of showcasing all what I've got left to build and paint, because I've got tons. But on that note, guys, thank you very much for watching. I'd say over the next sort of 4 to 6 weeks, I'll be able to knock out another 2 or 3 videos of these guys, and by the end of that, so by the end of December, I should have a whole lovely big army of Moria Goblins, and that is going to be awesome. Can't wait. But thank you as always for watching, guys. Always appreciate it. I really do. It's fantastic. Thanks for all your kind comments, and happy Halloween. Happy Halloween. Happy modelling. Hollering. You can holler if you want. It's Halloween. And I'll see you soon. Take care, guys. Bye bye.